Hey, what's up guys? Just wanted to shoot a new video about motorcycle tips number 2. Today I'm so angry I almost got hit by 2 different cars. Neither of them were even remotely close to my fault, but I must say I probably could have done things a little bit better as far as my positioning was, and I'm going to show you guys how I think I could have been in a better situation if this guy maybe would have seen me, or if I could have just put myself in a better position so that this wouldn't have happened at all. Although I must say, driving around town here during the middle of the day is when you get all the drivers that are just driving, like kind of cruising around, or like the older people that don't really drive that often. So I know definitely in Honolulu, my experience is it's a lot more dangerous during like the middle of the day when you get the drivers that are just kind of casually driving, not really super paying attention to what they're doing. But let me show you a little diagram here. Okay, so here's the scenario. Kind of a weird little scenario, but if you can imagine, these are 3 different lanes here. I was in 3 different lanes of traffic. So this is the car that was driving in the left lane, and this is me on my motorcycle. At this point, I was just kind of cruising along, going through, and I was coming up here, and I just noticed that when I hit right about here versus this car, that this guy started to turn on his blinker. So he starts merging into this lane, and at this point I'm right about here, and I wasn't sure if he saw me at first, so he was starting to go over. I thought, okay, maybe he saw me and he was gonna like go behind me and wait till I passed, but there's this car up here, so by the time that we reach here, this car was turning, so this car is going to turn off. This car right here is going to turn off into the right lane. Me, I'm driving along in the middle of the lane, which was probably my best case scenario of where I should have been if I'm in the middle of 3 lanes. I try to always think about, like, okay, where's the safest place that I can be in the lane, if it's to the right hand side, if it's to the left hand side, or if I should be in the middle. Usually when I have cars on both sides of me, I like to drive in the middle just because you have an even chance of either one of the cars seeing you. Otherwise, I like to stay in the left hand side of the lane if there's a car on my left hand side so that they can see me in their rearview mirror. This guy, I noticed that he didn't even look in either of his mirrors because I didn't see him do anything to try and look for me. But so he starts to come through here. At this point, I'm here. I wasn't sure if I should speed up or hit the brakes because I wasn't sure what the best scenario should be. So I started to merge off to the right here, and because I was looking at this guy, I wasn't paying too much attention to this car. So by this point, I'm right here in between both of these cars, and I just snuck through. I had to like lean my bike so I didn't hit my handlebar on this car's rearview mirror on the left hand side of it. And then this guy was still here, so he didn't even see me really at all. Like, he didn't even look to the right and see that there was a motorcycle next to him whatsoever. So after this guy turns and I get off into the right hand lane, my adrenaline is like pumping like crazy. I'm like let me flip this back around. I'm freaking one hand on the throttle, like clutching, throttling, making really loud revving noises, looking at the guy going like, what the fuck? Like so angry, showing him eyes like, you, and then I flipped him off and I like sped off. Which, another tip for you guys, if you ever get in a scenario like this, don't get angry and then speed off and try and do something stupid, you know? Like, you might want to speed off just to get away, and then after about 10 seconds I realized, it's like, you know, I've watched another video on YouTube where guys recommend, you know, if you get angry, don't do something stupid, because either if you do something stupid, if you do road rage something to the car, or if you get really angry at them, they might run you off the road. And if you don't believe me, watch some videos on YouTube, some Russian videos. There's some crazy stuff that happens. There's motorcyclists getting run over and the car is running them down and everything. So just keep your cool and just try and make sure that you don't put yourself in a bad situation. My situation today, I probably should have done something like this. Okay, so let me reset. So usually when I'm driving with a couple different cars in the lane, I will drive here, and then once I'm in this car's blind spot, a lot of times I'll just kind of crack on the throttle, just really quick jump up next to them so that they can see me just enough. And the thing is with this guy, I was on the side of him and he didn't really see me at all. But if you jump up far enough and then you can back off, then they know, okay, there's a motorcycle next to me. It's just a little safety tip that I tell people that, you know, if you just pop up, even if there's a car here and you know that they're not going to be stopping, or if they don't have a car in front of them, you can pop up just enough so that this car can see you and then back off so that this car doesn't run you off or just run into you. Luckily, I was really lucky that this guy put on his blinker, which is a kind of rare occurrence here in Hawaii. People really don't like to use their blinkers at all. I don't know why, but he put on his blinker, and it gave me enough time to like think in my head and respond and say, hey, this guy's going to run me off the road. Other than that, I'm trying to think if there's any other kind of safety things I could have done. I probably could have kept myself out of his range like altogether. We were kind of going around a turn at the time too, so but just lucky for me I wasn't run off the road or run down. It was kind of a lucky situation, and I like to play these kind of scenarios in my head a lot, like which lane should I be in, where should I be, what's the best case scenario. So safe riding. Just try and keep yourself safe out there, and I guess pay attention all the time. You can't really ever slack off when you're riding a motorcycle. I like to think of what's the best place that I can be at all times, and visually I usually try to imagine that every single car is out there to kill me. So try and keep that in mind. I definitely put myself back into that mode again today after almost getting hit by this car. So yeah, thanks for watching, and if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know.